Hello there, I didn't see you there. Of course I saw you. Just pretend that I didn't, because it's better that way. Anyway, as you can see behind me, there's no more Christmas trees, no more Christmas ornaments. It's New Year, new me. Hardly, but that pretty much means I can go back to me being me, grumpy. And what's a better way to celebrate with all that English weather out there? Playing one of the best games on the Nintendo Game Boy, Super Mario Land 2. The Super Mario Land series is one not to be confused with the Super Mario Brothers one on NES. Anyways, in Super Mario Land 1, we have Mario going in Sarasaland, fighting some bad guys and then saving the princess. He actually gets a kiss in the end. And he gets her in his private jet and they just go away. Wait a minute, this is 1989 I'm talking about. In Donkey Kong, he had a love interest in Pauline, if I remember correctly, and then in Super Mario Brothers, he actually acquired a certain taste for royalty, and his new girlfriend was Mrs. Peach, Princess Peach, and now he goes on to grab Princess Daisy as well. We're talking 1989, it's been 36 years, and this guy already has a much more interesting love life than me. Stupid short eggplant-nosed Italian plumber from Brooklyn. I'm having chicken soup, by the way. Did you think I would only drink tea and cocoa? Of course not. So, without further ado, Super Mario Land 2, because I don't feel like playing the first one because it has small sprites and I feel too old for this. Title drop. In Super Mario Land 2, you play as Super Mario trying to get back his Mario Land from the hands of Wario. Yes, exactly. This is where you get to see Wario for the very first time in this game, Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. How are you supposed to do that, you may ask? By traversing all the zones, of course, beating down all of Wario's henchmen, getting back all 6 golden coins so that you'll be able to reopen the gate to your own castle and reclaiming it in a last battle versus the big man himself, Wario. Well, let's talk a little bit about the game now, shall we? And by a little bit, I mean a lot. This came out in 1992. It's a 2D platformer, yeah, I know, big soccer, but really, it looks amazing. Just look at it. It looks more like something that came out from a Super Nintendo rather than a NES, to be honest, minus the color, of course. It's not just the graphics though, the controls are super responsive, the music is top-notch and the sound effects are pretty good. Even though the soundtracks, we don't get many of them, but the variations that we get from the same theme are pretty amazing. At the end of the level, we always get this little bell that we have to ring, and then we can go to a bonus stage, and we can actually abuse it, so much so that in the end we'll have a ton of extra lives. But yes, I never thought that this game was on the rough side of the difficulty spectrum, to be honest, so I don't really think it matters. After that, you get to the overworld, and just look at that. It looks amazing. It looks like the menu of Mega Man, but it's just more interactive. You get the tree zone, the space zone, the macro zone, the Mario zone, the turtle zone. Did I cover everything? Yes, that's pretty much it, I guess. And this is the tree zone. I like how you can actually see the boss on top of the tree. It's a big vulture. And we start off with the very first level in this zone. And look at the detail in this level. The backgrounds look amazing. Look at these cute animals. Like, you can't hurt those. I mean, come on. Look at these frogs. They lick with their little tongues. Oh, of course. Of course I can hurt them. I lied. Then we have this very interesting looking level. It looks as if we're inside the tree trunk and we use the tree sap to move along. It looks like that, doesn't it? And we have these weird looking fish that they're half cows and half fish. I used to call them moschopsara in Greek. As you can see, I have this power-up, the bunny power-up, the carrot one, for which I'll be talking shortly enough. And you can try and reach different secret levels in this game as well, if you look hard enough. And what's interesting about those is that they change the image of the map if you finish them. Like here, look at that. Look at those pretty flowers that are blooming. I used to think as a kid that the vulture up there is not so happy about that. I enjoy the whole theme of Mario being actually small and these bugs are bigger than him. But this is something that maybe was not so well thought after all, because there's a zone after that this is what it does. It actually makes Mario feel small again. But here we're visiting a beehive, and that is amazing. Look at all these different kind of enemies. They're super detailed, and they're different. So many different enemies. Not everyone is your enemy though, and in the last level of the very first zone, the tree zone, we get these owls that can carry us around along with some clouds. Yes, clouds. So we do have a couple of companions along the way. They look pretty cute as well. And this is where I should be talking about this power-up that everyone has forgotten. The carrot. The carrot actually gives you a set of ears. You can hover around with them. You can run faster. You can jump higher. Why is this gone? Why has everyone forgotten about the carrot? Bring the carrot back. And then we get to fight the first boss, the vulture, or whatever that thing is. I used to think that's a crow, but the crow doesn't have a white underbelly. The crow, well, I have dubbed this thing Ken 2.0 from the Street Fighter series because it's very dumb. Look at the AI. Look at what it does. Just goes right underneath you. You can jump on its head, which is basically your basic attack, and it's done. You have the very first golden coin. Bravo. That was easy. Then we get to go to the space zone. And how do we visit the space zone, you may ask? We go over there to that hippo statue. We ride his booger in the most lazy fashion. Look at my hand. This is the single two buttons that I'm pressing. I'm doing nothing else. And I'm just breezing through this stage just to reach the space zone. Now we reach the space zone and we land on the moon. And what I really enjoy about this stage is the fact that you can actually jump like you're on the moon. Duh. There's space pigs, like pigs in space. And I enjoy the music very, very much because it is basically the same soundtrack that we hear through the entirety of the game. But it has that certain different theme, vibe about it. Just listen to it. So once we abuse the bonus stage one more time and we get 3 extra lives again, we get to the space stage, I suppose, after the moon, and there's plenty of angry stars that can hurt you, but you can't fight back really. It's one of those annoying scrolling stages, if you get what I mean, but there are plenty of exploits like this one. And then we get the fire flower, and we get down to business. We get to fight the Tunga, the spaceman. This is actually the final boss of the very first Super Mario Land. Fun fact. He's no better than the Ken 2.0. Look at him. He just goes left and right. If you have the fire flower, he's easy as pie. He doesn't know how to fight, just look at him. Goes left and right, up and down, that's it. He shoots some stuff, I suppose, that makes him kinda better than Ken 2.0. I'll just dub him Ken 1.5. And that is the macro zone, the zone I was telling you about that makes the tree zone not making too much sense. Because here Mario is small as well, and all the bugs, you can see the ants, you can see, oh my god, I want to talk about these. The ants, they're crazy, just look at them. You have this one that gets the spiky hair if you get too close to it, and then you have the bazooka one. Yes, an ant that uses a freaking bazooka. You have this one as well. He uses a shovel to get you out of the way. And that's the one I was telling you about. Look at him. Just look at him go. A bazooka on its head. That's nuts. But then again, we're talking about a game where an Italian plumber just gets high on shrooms. Another 3 extra lives, thank you. Then we reach the attic, which is the final level of this zone. You can see the little witch over there that's trying to get away with my extra life. If you hold down the B button, you won't be having any trouble with him. Of course, this attic is full of books. What else? And at the end of it, there will be a mouse. Now, granted, the mouse is not that stupid as the previous 2 bosses, but he has no chance. I mean, he's slow, he has a very recognizable pattern. You just shoot at him, look at him go. And then we get the pumpkin zone, my personal favorite, Halloween themed, much like the tree zone. You can already see the boss, which was the witch. And look at that, it's a Jason mask on feet, with a machete stuck on its head. Whoever told you that game is, on the Game Boy were for kids, then we were pretty much messed up kids. We have more of these Jason masks on feet, look at them, and then we get the shy ghosts, the one that when you look at them, they just turn their backs, and if you turn your back, then they get to attack you. Look at them go. Oh, this is amazing. We even have a surprise visit by Count Dracula himself. Look at him throwing bats. Well, much like the moon stage, I more certainly love what they've done with the musical track here as well, giving it a spooky vibe and spooky feeling overall. By the way, does anybody care to explain what are those things, those legs with umbrellas on top of them? Anybody who knows, just tell me. Okay, anyone care to tell me what is that? Is that a lizard tail? Something that's been cut off? What is it? And here we go. We're fighting the witch. And guess what? She's Ken 3.0. She's even worse than that. Look at her. Just look at her. She's throwing those slow as heck fireballs. They're not even trying to hit you. They're just going for those cauldrons, I guess. And just look at her. Just 3 times you do the same thing. Done. Kaput. Over. Next up we have the Mario Zone, and it starts off being like a clock tower or something. Then we have turtles running around, yeah, basic stuff, really. Then we move along in some stage with balls for some reason. We fly around with plenty of pigs trying to shoot us down. There is the next one, which has some pretty decent design in my opinion, with those chains and balls going around and trying not to fall on these spikes. And then we get to visit the final level of this zone, which is Legoland. Yes, it's not named like that, but I just like the sound of that. And guess, make a wild guess. What is the boss of this zone? We had the tree zone with a bird. We had the space zone with a spaceman. We had the Halloween zone, the pumpkin zone with the witch. What do we get here? Please, make a wild and educated guess. What is the boss of Mario Zone? Of Mario Zone. Italian plumber, on shrooms or not, this must be the most bollocks moment in the entire game. We're being greeted by the 3 little piggies. The 3 little piggies. And guess what? They're dumb as a brick. They're dumber than Ken. And now, off to the Turtle Zone. The Turtle Zone is the final zone before we face Wario himself. And remember how I told you this entire overworld map is interactive? Well, something really cool happens when you try and enter the Turtle Zone. Look at that. So inside this turtle there's a sunk submarine for some reason, an entire whale, and then we go into the whale and we find the boss. When I first played this as a kid, I was pretty convinced that we were going to fight a whale that's inside the turtle, but no, it's just another creature inside the whale. Which whale is already inside the turtle? Awesome. Haven't we seen enough enemy designs already? Well, here's another one. Did you see that? It was a shark wearing boxing gloves. He's actually right here on the front cover. Wow. Just wow. Again, Italian plumber and shroom, so what you gonna do? And then we get to the insides of the whale, and let me tell you what, this is a very crazy looking inside of a whale or a stomach or whatever that is, because there are blades protruding everywhere. Like, look at this. This is like a sword, by the way. Maybe that whale needs some doctor checkup. And then we get to fight the octopus. And the octopus is inside the whale, and it's dumb. Nothing changes. Look at how dumb it is. It looks dumb, it fights dumb, it even dies dumb. And look at what happened over there. I wasn't able to move at this point because I had already won. So what was that? That was a cheap shot, I tell you. So we got all our 6 golden coins and we're ready to face Wario, right? Not quite, because as a proper Englishman, I need to do one thing first. And that is gamble on a slot machine, my entirety of my 999 coins, and get something very important. Let's see what it is. Okay, I'm terribly sorry about what you're gonna witness right about now, and I'll try to replicate exactly what I did as a kid when I reached that point of the game. Basically, what I tried to do was trying to replicate Mario pissing on on the window for some reason, and I managed to do that by pausing the right moment after I did the drill thing that he does. Uh, let's just take a look at this embarrassing moment of my childhood. I almost always did that. I don't know why. Don't ask any unnecessary questions, please. This next moment is something very creepy. I mean, for a Mario game, it most certainly is. I'll try to show it as close as possible. There's basically one of those exploding platforms that you encounter in the last level, just before you meet Wario. And when I paused it while this thing was exploding, I was able to see a demonic, very creepy face. Let me know if you can see that. That was very traumatizing. And this is it. We reached the final point where we get to beat Wario's ass while he's using all our power-ups. Enjoy the battle. And this is how we reach the end of this game. A marvelous game in my humble opinion. This came out in 1992 and still holds up very well today. A very iconic game with a very iconic villain that, needless to say, he started off his own series later on with Super Mario Land 3 being actually named Wario Land. So, what did you think? Did you like that? Well, me being me, as grumpy as I am, and many times forgetting how small little things are very important in life and how you can be happy by small things. This is actually not one of those things that I consider small. Small is the cartridge, maybe. The few kilobytes that this game is, yes, maybe. What they fit in there, the different enemy designs, the beautiful stages, the overworld map, everything is iconic, the music, the controls. If you haven't played this, I don't know what to say to you. I actually do. Shoo! Go away! Now enjoy, the music. I'll just shut up and just... Bye-bye, you perverts. See you around.